You know, I always look forward to this time on a Tuesday morning when we get to turn back the hands of time and find some local history. And we charge that duty with one person only. And that is, of course, from History Out There, Harold Peacock, who's on the line this morning. Good morning, mate.
Yes, good morning, Damo. Yes, some local history, but this time from Western Australia.
I know you've been on assignment in Kalgoorlie. Has it been hot there?
No, it's cold.
Oh,
there's nothing else you can say about it. Cold and of course, and even a little bit of rain, actually. But, yeah, it's not much different from here. I'm back home now, so I've made it back.
Yes.
But, gee, I found some good stories over there because, your travel budget you've given me is fantastic. I appreciate that.
Yes, that's $3.50 covered at least, one bike rim.
Oh, well, it's half a coffee anyway. And it's amazing what I tracked down over there, though. Some Warwick history, some local Darling Downs history over in the goldfields of Western Australia.
Right, okay. Now, over there, you found out about a Warwick builder, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right. I think the biggest builder we've had for the last 200 years. And this all began when I started researching Daniel or Dan Connolly, who was in 1886, he was charged with murdering the Warwick Police Constable, Thomas Kelly.
Oh, there's always murder in your stories, isn't there?
Oh, look, we'll get past this fairly quickly because there was an altercation that took place between the two in the laneway at the back of the Warwick Police stables. Now, Connolly knocked Constable Kelly down. The constable was left unconscious and with a broken leg, and he died a few days later.
Oh.
Now, Warwick's Dr. Frederick Margetts, he testified that the constable's death was hastened by the treatment handed out by Connolly. Now, Margetts, you might remember stories a while ago I told you about his sons, including Andrew Margetts, who had thousands of fish fall from the sky on his property. And
yes.
Yeah, and Albert, who appeared in the Warwick courthouse when he and his arch nemesis threatened to burn each other's house down.
Oh, yes.
And Thomas, he spent time in Brisbane's Bogger Road jail for failing to pay his wife's alimony. Anyway, Connolly, he was committed to stand trial in Toowoomba on a charge of murder. However, without explanation, the charge was downgraded to manslaughter, and then it was dropped altogether.
Wow.
And that meant that Connolly never faced trial, and no one was ever brought to justice for the constable's death.
Mm.
Now, you might remember the Warwick election riots I told you about recently, and, well, the place, it was pretty rough and ready back then, so I suspect law was handed out in different ways, different people, and I suspect that Connolly benefited from being well-connected in this instance. You see, I think it was the same Dan Connolly who later went into partnership with his cousin James Connolly and built a number of the public buildings in both Warwick and Clifton.
Mm.
Now, the cousin went over to Western Australia and tried to persuade our Dan to join him over there. But Dan preferred to live in Warwick, which is understandable, and he twice ran for state parliament, and he served on the Warwick Council for 25 years, including 10 years as mayor.
Wow.
So Connolly's was certainly well connected, certainly on the Darling Downs. And so, Damo, when I went to Kalgoorlie last week, I researched the cousin, James, who of course is another high-flying product of the Darling Downs, and I found out that he was even more influential. So James Connolly, he was born in 1869 in Allara.
Mm.
He began his schooling at Warwick and trained as a quantity surveyor.
Right.
Now, his first project was not surveying, but constructing a school building at Elphinston near Allara, where his sister was a pupil teacher. Now, gold had just been discovered in West Australia, and Connolly went west in 1893, and he began building there.
Mm.
Now, the fabulous wealth from the goldfield at the time meant that his construction contracts were up to £200,000, or over $200 million in today's money. It was fabulous.
Wow.
So Connolly, he did very well. He was subsequently elected to the Kalgoorlie Town Council and even went on to serve in both Houses of Parliament in Western Australia. And then he went to London, where he served as Agent General of Western Australia. He was knighted, and then served as Agent General for Malta. So it's not bad for a boy from the Darling Downs.
No.
Now, while I was in Kalgoorlie, I stayed in the Palace Hotel. Now, it was built in 1897 and is one of the many buildings in town that were put up by Connolly. Now, you might remember, you might have voted for him, Herbert Hoover, the future US president back then. He lived in the Palace Hotel when he was a mining engineer. Now, Hoover fell in love with a bar girl there and gifted a huge hand-carved mirror, and the mirror is still there today, and it is amazing. You see, I stayed up at Herbert Hoover's room and looked out from the balcony, and I can say that the hotel's entrance and staircase are just as impressive today as they ever were.
Wow.
So look, it's amazing the legacy, the West Australian legacy, particularly in Kalgoorlie, left by James Connolly from Allara. Now, he was cousin of the Warwick Mayor, he followed the gold rush west, and I think he's pretty much unknown in his own town today. So maybe now's a good reminder, James Connolly.
Well, there you go. And did you feel very presidential when you were standing in Herbert Hoover's room?
I did. I just wondered when are the bar girls going to come up and visit me. That's what I was thinking too.
Now, mate, you're going to be posting this story up a little later this week?
Absolutely. On Friday morning, I'll post this on my website, and you can find history out there on all the socials, so Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. But on my website, this will have the story and some photos of these people too, the Connollys. HistoryOutThere.com.
Bringing history alive and local history to boot as well. Mate, always good to catch up, and we'll look forward to doing it all again next week.